It's Tuesday, March the 12th. There's questions, there's injuries, there's big deals being signed, there's hopeful freshmen. Vizzina, is he going to transfer after the spring game? Christian Wilkins is rich beyond what we can imagine. David Eziomume, God help me to say that right. I need to put that on my resume. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about Troy Stellato, his injury, the surgery, the time he'll be back. Folks, welcome to Clemson Football Live. I am Brian. I'm glad that you're here. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome, friends. Hope you'll subscribe. It is free. Pass it along to anyone who likes to talk Clemson football. Also talk about other college football teams because, well, what goes on in college football affects Clemson. Also, I just love college football. Pass it along to them as well. I do appreciate it. So, I have a bunch of things to talk about, and what I'm going to try to do is be a really good ADD personality and blast through them as fast as I can. It's like ADD subjects. First of all, Troy. I'm thinking about Troy Stellato. Let's talk about Christopher Vizzina. I am seeing more and more people, or hearing more and more people, and when I say see, I've read their comments, who is questioning if Vizzina is going to transfer after the spring game, which, by the way, is what, 3 weeks from this coming Saturday? 1 o'clock, I believe it's April 6th. Now, folks, I want to go ahead and tell you this. I don't know that he is transferring. But for some reason, people are starting to kick up this idea that Christopher Vizzina is going to transfer if he doesn't feel good after the spring game. I want to pause right here and say this. First of all, anything is possible. Again, this is just comments I'm seeing. I'm interested in why this is coming up. Why people are bringing this up in comment section. You go, Brian, you've been on YouTube long enough with your channel here and the other channel. You know that people put stuff in the comment section all the time. I agree with you, but here's the thing. When you see it happen more and more and more and more, someone's either received some type of rumor or, it's leaked. I don't know. But I want to talk about that for just half a second. First of all, what will be different after the spring game for Vizzina that would change anything that's going on right now, currently 3.5 weeks before the spring game? Once again, this is just something I'm seeing oddly coming up. Again, anything is possible. He could come up and say, hey, I'm wanting to transfer. My question is like, to where? Unless you want to go play in the Sun Belt. But I don't know why everybody's starting to freak out unless they know something that I don't, which is very possible. That's fine. But just to address this, what makes you think this guy's going to transfer? What makes you think that he wants to leave Clemson? I know I did a video just a couple of weeks ago that I talked about Christopher Vizzina, and I talked about how he had always been playing, and last year was the first year that he was sitting on the bench. But after the spring game, there's going to be no difference unless he gets hurt or he just comes out and totally bombs. There's going to be no difference with his position on the team or role with the team than what it is right now, 3 weeks before. So I don't know why people are starting to really fire up this whole he's going to transfer. Or I think, what if he transfers? Hey, listen, if he transfers, we're up crap creek because we have a room full of preferred walk-ons. No offense to them. No offense to them. I know some of them are really good athletes that walked on and they played at local high schools, and we have respect for them. We have respect for what they did in the high school and everything. But if Christopher Vizzina were to transfer, we'd be up crap creek. I don't believe it's going to happen. So I just want to address that really quick. Next up, Troy Stellato. He has another injury. Folks, this is a young man who was highly recruited coming out of high school. We got him, and he's just had injury. Last year, we saw him get to play more and more and more throughout that entire season. Man, can he catch. What a receiver. You're talking about surefire hands that wasn't just dropping stuff. Man, he can catch. He could run those short routes. He had that uh he had that slot receiver, and I hate to bring up Hunter Renfrow because Hunter Renfrow is a once in a lifetime guy, and I hate it when a guy like that, you're just constantly comparing people who's not like him to him. But Stellato had that ability to run the really, really precise slot route, and then you get the ball to him and he catches it. Like Hunter Renfrow. And I know that he's had this tear in his shoulder, and that they wanted to get some of the spring ball in there. All the reports are saying that he wanted to get some spring practice in. And it's now time to work on it. So he got some spring practice in. Now he is going to finally get some help for it. So I hope that the surgery goes well. I hope that he heals fast, because we need more sure-handed wide receivers out there. Say a couple of hellos real quick. John Smith, what? Yeah, John, I don't believe Vizzina's going to transfer. JR, the gent, hope it's not true. If Vizzina transfer, that leaves Danny Pearman's kid as quarterback number 2. This is just a rumor, folks. Or not rumor. This is just speculation. It's not even rumor. It's speculation. I'm sitting here, why am I hearing this all the time? I want to address it. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, anything's possible. These kids, they get something in their head, they can leave. But he seems to be happy. Roger Parks. Hi, friends. Roger Parks, he supports Clemson Football Live channel. You see that little symbol beside his name up there. Let's see this. He is a supporter of the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's a join button below the video. Unless you're on an iPhone, you're not going to see it. $3 or $5 per month. You're like, what's the difference? I can't speak. And, what's the difference? $3 or $5 per month. That's just the difference. If you want to support on a monthly basis. Tiger Paul Craven, what's up, Brian? Tiger Paul Craven, it's good to see you, buddy. We need to do a show together. We need to do a show together, like soon. Whether it's just you or whether it's you and Jordan. Folks, you need to go check out Tiger Paul Craven. They're working with one of the premier people in college football, Mark Rogers, with Clemson, the voice of college football at Clemson. I mean, they're very talented. And I enjoy seeing them. Tiger Paul Craven, it's good to see you. I'm going to speed through this quicker and get back on topic. John Smith, if it's true, the Dabo goofed on not getting another quarterback. James Thompson, I hope no transfers of Vizzina. Me too. Why would Vizzina come in knowing he'd sit on the bench 2 years and transfer after 1? That's a great question. I'm telling you, this speculation, I don't know why people is thinking this is going to happen. I really don't. I really, really don't. Let's get back to the story. We've talked about Vizzina and the speculation. People starting up this rumor, he might transfer after the spring game. We talked about that. I think it's ridiculous. And folks, my thought to him transferring, well, plainly said is no! 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 Yep. Another one that will touch the heart.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that on us!
Yeah, we don't need that evil on us, Clemson fans. We've been going through enough. And, we got Matt Luke in here. Matt Luke, finally got him in here. Finally got some experience in here. We really don't know what Garrett Riley's going to do right now. We're still going to deal with some of the residual effects of having inexperience in the coaching room. And, you're going to pay for sometime the idea that Sweeney can hire whoever he wants. Because, folks, here's the deal. I want to say this real quick, and we're getting to Christian Wilkins after this. Can Dabo Sweeney or any head coach or any owner of a business hire whoever they want? Absolutely. If a person has had success, an extreme success like Dabo Sweeney did have for such a long period of time, Did he earn the right to hire whoever he wants? Yes, but he already had that right when he became the head coach. Here's the only thought that I throw out there to everyone who wants to beat that drum. A really, really smart leader, or let me rephrase that. He's a smart man. I'm not taking a shot at him whatsoever there. A really controlled leader who's a visionary, they realize that they can't hire whoever they want and be successful. So we've seen that over time. Nick Saban had to hire different people all the time because schools were coming in to poach his coaches because they wanted those championship ways to be brought to their school. I mean, it worked at Georgia. And by hiring Kirby Smart. And so folks, you need to understand, yes, he earned the right to hire whoever he wants, but that right does not give you immunity to the results of hiring whoever. And I'm not going after Swinney here. I'm just saying, with Matt Luke, you probably have more experience with him coaching at the college level than all their coaches put together. So it's nice to have some experience in here, but you're going to deal with the residual effects of that for some time because you have to retrain players and the way they were trained for a long period of time. Going back to the subject, Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins when I think of excellence at Clemson, I think of Christian Wilkins. I had the pleasure of seeing him play live against South Carolina when Clemson had to play against Deebo Samuel. That was the year 2018. They won the national championship. Trevor Lawrence was a freshman. Jake Bentley threw for 510 yards and still lost by 21 points. Even with Deebo Samuel, still lost by 3 touchdowns in Death Valley. Christian Wilkins looked like a beast that night, as he always did. And that's what I think of when I think of Christian Wilkins. I think about the handoff to him for the touchdown where he did the Heisman pose and got the flag and Dabo went off on him. And he should, but you'll understand why Christian did it. Christian Wilkins, the smile, the infectious smile that he has, and then going out there with that same infectious smile and killing somebody. And to see that he signed, he left. Yesterday was a big trade day for the NFL. I just saw, and I'm not a big NFL guy, but when you see names that you recognize, you kind of makes you think of them in their college days. I just saw that Derrick Henry is no longer with the Titans, which we knew that was coming. He's now with the Ravens. Imagine that. Christian Wilkins signed a deal yesterday, 4-year deal worth a base value of $110 million, with $84.75 million of it guaranteed. He's now a Las Vegas Raider. So congratulations to Christian Wilkins on becoming outrageously rich. That's good for Clemson, folks. These guys in high school right now, their goal is not to come to your university and get a sociology or a parks and recreation degree so they can go earn $40,000 a year. The type of guys that Clemson are recruiting, the type of guys that Georgia and Ohio State and even the new Alabama is recruiting, these are guys who has high hopes that in the next 5 years, they will be in the NFL. The next 4 years, they'll be in the NFL, making unimaginable amounts of money with so many zeros that you get lost in the amount of money. This is not only good for Christian Wilkins. Congratulations. Again, congratulations is definitely due. But this is big for Clemson. This right here, you say, how is this big for Clemson? Well, remember, the defense has never fell off at Clemson. It hasn't fell off at all. If you ever see the defense perform poorly at Clemson, it's because the offense has had their thumb up their butt. And they didn't do well. And I'm mainly talking about coaching there. The players can only do what they're taught. And so this guy, I mean, this is big for Clemson, but it's also big for their defensive prowess in the NFL. So that's a big deal for us recruiting, but congratulations to Christian Wilkins. Last, I want to talk about Clemson's running back, David Eziomume. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Over the past few years, some of the names, and hey, it's wonderful, it's great. I'm not taking a shot at anyone's background or anything like that. Not everyone has a name that ends like Smith or Johns or Brown or, whatever. But some of these last names, y'all, it's so hard to pronounce, and I feel like I can put it on my resume. But David Eziomume, I'm pretty sure that's it. 6'1", over 200-pound running back out of Kennesaw there in the metro Atlanta area. Some people says he was a 3-star. Some people says he's a 4-star. It's just according to what recruiting outlet you're checking out. You know how that works. The guy is showing a lot of speed. The guy's showing a lot of promise. Now, the good thing for him is he gets to sit behind Phil Maffa. That's the good thing. He gets to sit behind Phil Maffa. He gets to learn from Phil Maffa. Phil can talk to him. Now, they're different backs, but they're both big guys. Phil's a big dude. Eziomume is a big dude, too. He's just technically, he would be a high school senior right now had he not enrolled in Clemson early. So, one of the media outlets says that basically Moffitt and Eziomume are actually feeding off of one another. This is big because this is where development, because of player relationship, plays a big part in developing young players. And I know that Clemson benefited greatly from a true freshman, Trevor Lawrence, coming in and winning a national championship. Once again, that's an anomaly. The majority of the time, and I'm not talking about 51-49, I'm talking about probably more around 98-2, 90 out of 100 times, a freshman is going to have to sit behind someone no matter what position they play. And they're still going to have the freshman blunders. But how it used to be is those freshmen would sit behind guys. And I know with the whole transfer portal thing that's blown up, it's created a whole other dynamic. But there are some players like Phil Maffa who stayed and sat behind someone that he was recruited in the same class as. You got to remember that Shipley and Maffa were recruited in the same class, were signed in the same class. So it's good to see kind of this old style of, hey, I'm the young guy, I'm sitting behind you. I know he's a freshman. He wasn't going to steal the job from Maffa, but it's good to see that he's actually behind him and he's learning and he's getting some advice. It gives us a chance to get this guy worked in, get him acclimated to the game. But it's good to hear that this guy is really quick. He's doing his thing, and it's bringing more depth to the running back room. I'm very happy about that. Go through a couple of questions. I'm going to end this here. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Hit the thumbs up. Remember, it's free. It's all free. So it's just like using your thumb if you're on a phone. So I do appreciate that. I have joined the College Huddle. The College Huddle is a conglomerate of YouTube personalities and sports podcasters who focuses on certain universities, college sports teams. I am the representative for Clemson. So it's very much an honor. So we will be launching sometime in April. As more and more information comes out about that, I'll share it with you. When the website goes up, I'll share it with you. But it's an honor for me to represent a school that is very dear to my heart and pull for them. That's the reason I get angry at times when I see certain things, because I actually give a rat's rear end. So, folks, tell me what you think. What do you think is going to happen after the spring game, are we going to see anyone transfer out? Maybe it's not Vizzina. Do we see anyone transfer out that right now? Maybe we're like, no, it won't happen. We see somebody from the running back room transfer out. I'm not talking about Maffa. I'm not talking about David Eziomume or however you say his name, Mume. Do we see someone transfer out? That's a good question. Wide receivers, do we see anyone leave because they know Bryant Wesco is here, TJ Moore is going to be a summer enrollee during that time? Do we see anyone transfer out of the cornerback room, the secondary, because we have a ton of DBs? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Christian Wilkins signing and just making all of that money, making the paper. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Share this with all your friends. As always, go Tigers.